Good afternoon and welcome to the American Institute of Building Design's first Tuesday at 2 presentation. It is August 2018 now, so I hope you are ready for the rest of the year to get close to ending. This is a live presentation, but if you'd like to view it again in the future, we will be posting a recording, which you can access at aibd.org/education. The AIBD is a nonprofit association dedicated to the enhancement, development, and recognition of the residential and light commercial building design professional. Today's presentation is a part of the Institute's continuous quest to provide relevant information to those who are currently practicing or are just interested in the building design disciplines. The comments expressed in today's presentation are those of the participants and not necessarily of the American Institute of Building Design. Today's presenter is Josh Christian, Director of Certification at the Home Technology Association. But first, allow me to introduce the AIBD Executive Director, Steve Mickley. It is all yours, Steve.
Thanks, Garrett. Yeah, it's my honor to have the Home Technology Association with us today. When Josh contacted me, it was a pleasant surprise. I hadn't heard of the organization, and then I learned further that they just launched in September 2017. Josh has been there since the beginning. He's helped create this organization, so is definitely the person we want to talk to today to learn more about it. He's, as Garrett said, Director of Certification. The organization started mostly focused on certifying technology integrators, and now their focus is expanding to reaching out to the rest of the industry. And it's our pleasure, Josh, to help you reach out to the building designers in the United States. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much.
The floor is yours. Please tell us about yourself, your organization. Garrett said we're going to hold the questions till the end, but if something really interesting comes to mind, I may just break in myself. But until that happens, the floor is yours.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you. A big shout out and thank you to you, Stephen, for inviting me and Garrett for setting this up. Speaking on behalf of the association, we're very excited to speak with all of you today on this webinar. And just to give you a little background about myself, my name is Josh Christian, and as mentioned, I am the Director of Certification of the Home Technology Association, and I've been in this industry since 1995 professionally, though as a hobbyist since I've been about 11 years old. So I've really kind of been into audio systems and technology for the home. And just wanted to explain, again, a term you'll be hearing me use a lot throughout this presentation is Home Technology Professional, and I'll abbreviate that to HTP. And the reason I'm just telling you that now is because this industry has a lot of names being used for what we're referring to as the same type of person. Sometimes they're called AV guys, low voltage installers, electronic systems contractors, another name that's been put and used in the past. But the industry seems to be settling on the term home technology professional. So you'll hear that. So just to give you a little background on my professional career, from 1995 through 2015, I was directly involved with companies in the greater Los Angeles market that designed and installed home technology systems, things such as smart home, home automation systems, audio video systems such as home theaters and media rooms, and house music, surveillance cameras, lighting controls, such as many of you might be familiar with Lutron systems that are very popular, motorized shading, and home computer networks and Wi-Fi systems. Basically, just low voltage technology in the home. So in that time, I was in a sales and marketing role, and I spent a good portion of my time doing outreach to architects, interior designers, and builders, both locally in Southern California, but also nationally at AIA and ASID national conventions on behalf of a trade organization called CEDIA, which many of you are probably familiar with. And just a little bit about CEDIA, and I know Stephen knows them quite well. They are a trade organization for home technology professionals. And much like the AIBD represents building designers, CEDIA is a trade association for HTPs. So for about 4 years, I taught a class at the CEDIA Expo about how to successfully work with interior designers. So I'm giving you all this little background on me, this brief background, just to share that as someone with extensive knowledge in this industry and working on many dozens of projects, home construction and remodel projects, I have real world experience on what the challenges are of this industry, but also the challenges that you as building professionals and designers have with this, dealing with this industry as well. We understand there are challenges, and that's what we're here to address today. So just a little overview of how I plan to present this. I have a brief PowerPoint to share. There's only about 9 slides of information, so I won't try to put you to sleep with a bunch of text. So just a little bit about the association. And in the middle of it, I'm going to veer off to the website, which is at htacertified.org, and have a little look around and show you how this website is a resource to you and your clients. We'll spend a special attention to the technology budget calculator, which is a game changer, as you'll see. And at the end of the presentation, as Garrett and Stephen mentioned, we'll open this up to questions. I'd love to hear any insights and questions that you have about what this is all about. So now, I believe you could see my screen. You'll see an opening slide here that talks about what the Home Technology Association's mission and vision are. And basically, this is a consumer-facing association that connects homeowners and also, by you, an extension, designers and architects and building professionals, help you find the most reputable and qualified professionals in the home technology industry. Basically, the people that could install this technology in your and your clients' homes. So, as you'll see on this website, as we delve into it, we empower homeowners, educate them on what they need to know to hire the right firms for their needs, and recognize those companies out there that are doing a great job of doing this, and elevating this entire industry, the home technology or consumer electronics industry, by instituting rigorous objectives. And that is a big thing. What we did is actually build a standard of excellence for this industry. So that is a brief overview of what the Home Technology Association is. But the next slide here is why it's needed. So here are some challenges that are reality in this industry. So again, here you see that term, home technology professional. And something that you may or may not know about this industry is that the barrier to entry to start your own company in this is very, very low. Most states do not even require a license. So when you have a barrier to entry that's too low, you have a lot of companies that could pop out of nowhere, and do they really know what they're doing? That is a big problem in the industry. And as such, because there are so many companies doing this, there are very high quality firms out there that do great work, take care of their clients, make them love their home due to all the great technology in their home. But unfortunately, they will often lose projects to unqualified companies. It happens more than we'd all like to admit. And what happens to that? There are too many takeover projects, and I'm sure you listeners listening to this right now have probably nodding your heads to say, yes, we've had clients upset with their technology and their previous company didn't take care of them. So they call somebody else, you come in here and fix this, please. Make my TV or my audio systems work, or make my cameras work, whatever it might be. There are far too many takeover projects. And until now, this industry has had no trusted third-party rating or endorsement system to find out if a company's any good. So, you and I and other trades might look to things like Yelp or Home Advisor, Angie's List for certain trades, or Yelp is great to find restaurants. But when it comes to finding someone that is qualified to install all these technologies in your client's home, it's proven to not be a reliable source, especially because those sources have no bearing on what is the scope of the project these companies are doing. They could just be hooking up a simple device, hanging a TV on a wall, which takes almost no skill, and then get these 5-star reviews. But when your client's building a custom home, it's going to be a much more complex project. And how do you know if that company is any good? Well, we've done things to address that. So in the absence of a quality standard, because we mentioned kind of earlier that we actually created a standard, but up until this point where there has been no quality standard, if clients don't know that there is such a difference amongst these firms, then all too frequently they hire based on price. Who's the cheapest price to put this system in? And that's, of course, could be a recipe for disaster. And some of this you might also know, and maybe you have some brands out there that you know of, the control system brands, even sometimes lighting control brands that you might think are really bad products or unreliable products because you see their brand name on the remote control in your hand and thinking that it's just a crummy product, where in reality it could be, well, and most often the case, it was poorly installed. The company that went out there to install that technology was not duly trained and did not know what they were doing. And there's something else that you might resonate with is the fact that a lot of these home technology professionals are not great communicators with you, design and build professionals. They sometimes will stay in their own bubble and not understand how their systems fit into the bigger picture, that they have to blend these technologies into the architecture of the space. And if these folks would communicate effectively early, there are a lot of compromises that could be solved, usually in the case of aesthetics and performance. You know, we could hide speakers, blend them, make them fit with light cans, or just make them disappear altogether. And also performance opportunities are missed too that might make a client unhappy in the end, where their expectation doesn't live up to the reality. So these are all things that are an issue, but one of the biggest ones we'll talk about today, and you're going to find an excellent tool on the HTA website, is finding out how much this stuff costs. The technology budgets could vary quite wildly, and until now, there's been no real easy way that you could get a rough estimate of what these technology systems are going to cost your clients when they're building a home. Well, we've solved that. So those are some of the challenges. But here's some of the results of those challenges. And you might resonate with this and agree that a lot of consumers are mostly unhappy with this industry. They felt kind of let down, where the expectation didn't live up to, the reality didn't live up to the expectation. And what happens with that is when a client is unhappy with their technology systems, when they remodel their home or they build a new home, they feel burned by their past bad experience and then want less technology for their new home. And that's a fail, because when technology is implemented well, it makes the home so much more enjoyable, fun, convenient, and safe to use. That's the promise of this industry. And it's a fail when the clients are so scared they don't want to do this again because of their past bad experience. Well, because of those things, you as design professionals often are also unhappy with this industry. So we'll see when it opens up to questions if that's the case. But speaking personally, as someone that has literally taught thousands of architects, designers, and builders in my career, and being face-to-face dealing with these design professionals in California and throughout the country, I've heard plenty of feedback how this industry has let people down. So to shift gears slightly and explain how you could look at the Home Technology Association is along these lines. You probably recognize most, if not all, of these badges here that mean quality. They stand for something in other industries. Zagat rated restaurants, Michelin stars for chefs, the 5-star safety ratings that cars might have. And one of my personal favorites here, the GIA certification for diamonds. You and I as consumers will look to these badges of quality and understand that they mean something. So, you know, if you're out shopping for a car and every single manufacturer you go to says, I have the safest car in the world, you're gonna take that with a grain of salt. But if it's the car's been tested by an outside association, in this case, NHTSA, National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, then there's some merit to it, right? Because it's an outside association that has done the vetting of that safety on that vehicle. Same with the diamonds. GIA, Gemological Institute of America. It's an outside rating system for diamonds. When a jeweler shows you a diamond and it's a GIA certified diamond, then you know it means quality. And why? Because you could go back and look at what an NHTSA safety rating is, or a GIA diamond rating, because it's a published standard that you could reference. So we have this in other trades and other products and services that you and I deal with out there, but there has not been something equivalent to that for the home technology professional until the Home Technology Association launched last year. And that's the logo and the name that are given to the home technology professionals that meet a very, very high standard of excellence that was created by our board of advisors. I wish I could say I invented this. I didn't. I just work at this association and implement the standards that were put together by 9 of the most brilliant minds in this industry. And I'll show you some of those people are when we go to the website. But that's when you see HTA certified, this logo, which you will find increasingly on company websites, even some vans, you know, trucks and vans driving around in your communities. You might start seeing the HTA certified badge with these companies. And that means that that company has met a very rigorous standard of excellence. So it is something to look to for professionalism. So this is what the association does. It recognizes the best home technology professionals out there. And just so you know, only about 10% of companies are estimated to even pass that standard. Remember I was telling you earlier that this is a low barrier to entry industry? Well, just give you an idea, in the USA alone, there's no definitive number, but there's somewhere between 10 and 15,000 companies out there that claim to be home technology professionals. That's a lot, 10 to 15,000. Now of that, if you will talk to some of the brighter minds in this industry that have been doing this a while, some veterans, they'll tell you, and it's pretty evenly across the board, you'll hear the same thing, that 10%, maybe if you want to be generous, 15% of that amount of companies are doing a good job, that actually take care of their clients, offer great customer service, and really know what they're doing. The ones that make their clients love their home. So it's a pretty small number. We're out to find and certify that 10%. So this, the bottom line, it gives you as a design professional and your clients a much higher chance of having satisfaction with the technology installed in the home, because on a high level view of what the HTA looks for is those companies must represent high technical ability, have solid customer service and aftercare support, and have a positive industry reputation. There's over 60 different criteria that a dealer that we look to in the dealer's application to determine that, and it takes on average 2 to 5 weeks of background research into a company to see if they live up to that standard. So there's a lot of things we do behind the scenes to make sure a company lives up to it. So moving on, let's now see what this website's all about. I'd like to show you around and you could see what the website's like. So I'm going to switch screens here. So hopefully this goes pretty smooth. You should all be seeing right now the website. This is the home screen for the Home Technology Association. The website is htacertified.org. So the first thing I want to show you is the standard is published. So going back to those other resources we're talking about, like GIA and NHTSA with the 5-star ratings, it wouldn't mean anything if there wasn't a published standard. So right here on the lower left of the home screen, this is a very important page. It's called HTA certification defined? Well, let's pay attention to the top part of this page here. And this explains what all HTA certified companies meet. Now, as you look at these bullet points, we won't go through every one of them. You could just kind of scan them. Put yourself in your client's shoes, and you could see why this is a very important thing to have. We check all of these things when we're certifying a company. If they've been in business long enough, do they have a great reputation? Do they have insurance? Do they have tax liens? Have they been involved in a lot of litigation? And are they able to be endorsed by design and build professionals like you, and by even their competitors? Do their competitors even endorse them? Do they have workers' compensation? When you look at this, there's nothing that seems too esoteric or too hard to attain, but you'd be absolutely shocked how few companies out there will meet this standard. It's that bad. I'm in California, and California has a low voltage license requirement, and I was at a trade show just back in May, meeting some integrators, HTPs, to let them know about what we do at a trade mixer event. And people are saying, oh, I don't have a license, does that matter? Yes, it matters, of course. You're working illegally. So this is, this person I talked to has a company going out installing technology illegally. And the clients probably assume they have a license, but they don't. So this is the type of thing that we're preventing to happen. We don't want your clients to hire that company. That's not good. This is going to be probably your favorite part of the site. I've just got another tab open here. I'm back on the home screen, but I want to show you this budget calculator. This is a very key tool. There's two links to get to it, here and here, but I'm just going to go straight to it. We could build a sample budget here. And what this is designed to do is simply, easily allow you as a design professional, or you could give this to your clients, to let them know what technology systems cost. And this is a high-level overview, does not get technical. Again, we're a consumer-facing association. We're not going to use techie talk here and lose people in technical terms they don't even care about. But we're going to talk high-level things that they're going to want in their home and give them an idea what the installed cost of these systems would be. So let's just build a home right here, and I'll walk you through it and talk you through it as we do this. And for fun, I'm just going to pick a 4,500 square foot home. Just randomly, I'll just pick that size. So we start with the square footage. And as we enter data, you'll see the next question pops up underneath it. And you can see that by the wording of the questions, we're talking very high level here. Let's talk about wiring. What best describes your situation? So you can see you got 4 choices. Is this an existing home that's already been pre-wired? I'm building a new house, probably where a lot of you are involved in, right? So let's pick that. I'm building a house and need all new wiring, so we'll pick that. When I clicked on that, you might have noticed now you see budget numbers starting to calculate and fill in down here. And this is going to keep building in real time as we answer this questionnaire. I'll stop here just for a quick second. I don't want to digress too much, but this is important to know as a design professional that this is actual wiring of a house. You might have heard of some builders these days, some big national home builders talking about, oh, you don't need wires, let's just do everything wireless. Bad mistake, very, very short-sighted bad mistake. As higher resolution television and higher resolution music comes out, there's a lot of, this is getting crowded airwaves to put everything on Wi-Fi. So Prewire is still alive and well, just as a little side note. Let's get to the next question. Let's talk music. How many rooms would you like music in? Include exterior areas too. So again, very simple. Let's pick, just for argument's sake, 7. Put the number 7 in there. And because we want this to be a quick and easy tool, we're not getting granular. So look at even the next question. Now on to TVs. How many TVs will you have in the house? So that way the client can kind of do a rough guesstimate, let's say 5 to 9 rooms, instead of having to figure every single room out. Now we're presented with another question. Do you want to centralize the sources? and we give them an example, cable TV, your Apple TV, a Roku, security cameras, into one location and have them all viewable on all TVs. And this is called video distribution. So stop and pause for a second. What you probably have seen many times is a central location in a house, a mechanical room or a garage or some closet where all the equipment, try to put it in that one space so you don't have to put this equipment elsewhere in the home. That's what that's referring to. So if we want to do central distribution, we could just click yes. You can always take it out later on and take that price out, but we just clicked it here, yes. Next question, do you have a dedicated home theater room? Please select a budget. So we have choices here, and this is one of those, and this is how already the power of this tool is becoming very apparent, because home theater is a term that is used so loosely today. You can go to a big box store and see these they call them home theater in a box. It's only $300, and it says you have home, theater surround sound in your house for $300. Is that going to give you a satisfactory experience? Is it what the consumer hears when they go to a commercial movie theater? Not even close. So here we give basically 5 different budget ranges of prices, 10 to 40K, 41,000 and 90,000, and just a brief sentence of what they can expect. But this house is sizable, but it's not huge. I'm just going to say no theater. But maybe they want, in other words, they don't have a dedicated room for this, but they do want a media room, like a surround sound system that's going to be a dual purpose room. Maybe their family room or their living room is going to have a really nice surround sound system that's going to do a pretty fair approximation of a real theater. So here we go. We have some choices. Let's go, entry level 5 to 15,000. They want something enhanced. 75 to 85 inch TV, 7.1 audio system. So there's, speakers all around you to give you an immersive sound experience. These could be in-wall speakers, so they're hidden. Let's pick that. Next question, let's move on to security. Do you want a burglar alarm? Of course, let's put that. How many security cameras do you think you need to cover your home? Again, this is high level. This is where your home technology professional ultimately is going to really help you narrow that down. But for rough budget estimate reasons, you've got some choices here. None, I don't want any, or here's some categories. And we even give the consumer a sentence here or two to explain what they might want. Typically homeowners want to see the following areas: front of house, front door, driveway, gate, sides of house, and pool. If you're more concerned about security, you may want to add cameras for the perimeter of your home. So, and to even tell you how far these cameras can see, about 75 feet in the dark. So let's just pick 5 to 8 cameras, nothing too crazy. Now, of course, we all live on Wi-Fi. We need that too. So even though I talked about you want to have a good Prewire in your home, you also, of course, are going to have Wi-Fi. Now, there's 3 choices here. There really should be 2, none or enterprise grade. The reason we put none is because sometimes your client might have an IT person at their place of work, especially if they're a CEO in a company and they really trust their IT company. Maybe they want their IT company to handle their Wi-Fi for them, but most people are going to want their home technology professional to install it for them. Consumer grade refers to things you could find at a big box store. These are, the $200 and less Wi-Fi units, but they don't cut it in a modern home, especially with people being hacked and security breaches. And beyond the security aspect of it, just performance. Having solid Wi-Fi signals throughout your entire property is more important now than ever, and that's referred to enterprise grade. The brands in this space are not brands you typically see in a big box store, but a whole different level of security and reliability. Now we'll talk about business grade phone system with house intercom. Remember back in the day, we used to have those new tone type of intercoms on the wall, which looked hideous. Well, that's been gone for a while. That's not a popular option, fortunately, for aesthetics purposes. So phone systems have been used oftentimes as the default intercom. Up to your client if they need an intercom, or they're just going to have their cell phones on them, or maybe they don't want a phone. Maybe they're just using cell phones in their home now. I'm just going to set no, because maybe they don't even have a landline. That's becoming increasingly the case today. Lighting control, very popular. Most of you probably know quite a bit about lighting control systems. Automated lighting where you could have a scene, you could press one button and recall an entire lighting scene for the home, such as entertain, good night, button that turns the whole house off. Now with circadian rhythm and tunable white lighting, that's becoming another reason to have a lighting control system where you can mimic the natural daylight color temperatures of the sun in your house, which is amazing. So the color temperature of the white light changes based on what the sun is actually doing. So lighting control systems, I'm probably preaching to the choir here. You probably know what these are, but this gives it a choice to select, do you want it everywhere, your entire landscape in your house, or just the main areas of the house? Oh, and my landscaping too, only for a couple rooms, or nope, I just want old-fashioned conventional light switches. I'm just gonna pick here, second choice. Yes, the main areas of the house and exterior, but leave out the kids' rooms and the laundry room and secondary rooms like that. We'll leave those out. Motorized shading, very popular today for aesthetics, energy management, keeping the sun from ruining furniture finishes and bleaching out floors and things. Let's just pick 6 motorized shades. We could change out, of course, if we need. And now we're getting near the end. This is, again, a simple tool. Do you want to control your house through multiple different apps? So this goes into the smart home category. There are a couple choices. Either I don't want anything that's smart in the house, so I hit no house control, or if we're all used to using smartphones now and we have apps for this and apps for that. If I use multiple apps, that means I have let's say an app for my lighting control system. I have another app for listening to music in my house, another app to watch my cameras, another app to control the thermostats, and it goes on and on and on. My pool and spa. You're bouncing around a lot of different apps. If you want to tie all these things together and you just have one app on your phone or your tablet, and I can control the whole house under one dashboard, that's what a single app is. And the single app does other benefits for you too. That means the systems can actually kind of communicate and talk with each other so you can automate some functions. So I'm going to click single app here because this is kind of the more luxury choice of the two. And then I say, what things do I want to control? I want my pool and my spa controlled through that app, my climate, my lighting, my alarm system, and motorized shades. And what the heck, let's throw locks in there too. If we have a access control motorized locks, we can put that all in there. Okay, I'm done. I scroll down and you can see there's a low budget and a high budget. So we break it down by subsystem, but also have a grand total. The budget range is 117,000 to 231,000 roughly. So you might think, well, that's kind of a big range. Well, here's why. This budget calculator works throughout the entire United States, and as you well know, the labor rates vary quite a bit throughout the country, and this is taking in installed costs. So labor is included here. It doesn't assume sales tax, but it does assume labor. Also, just like anything else in life, when you're buying a car, a family sedan or a truck or anything, there is a range of quality and performance in cars and everything in life, right? And handbags, you name it, there's quality. So you can expect to pay somewhere between 117,000 to 231,000 all in. So the 231,000, more expensive states where the labor rates are higher and the client falls more into the luxury and performance side of the spectrum. 117,000 is still a good system. We don't want to imply that this is very low end or inferior componentry. No, this is still a professionally installed system using quality, very high quality systems out there and componentry, but at the more basic entry level side of the industry. So what's the action item here? You'll notice, this is very, very important, that after the budget, there is a sentence or two of advice to the consumer. So it says right here, I'll read it out loud. Your preliminary budget indicates that home technology installation firms that are certified at the luxury and estate levels are the most appropriate choices. I'll get into what that means in a second. Some foundation certified firms also deploy projects in this price range, though you will want to pay special attention to a firm's project size, and home value statistics in their profile to be sure that they are a good fit for your needs. Okay, so this is the actionable item for you as a design professional or your consumer if you're forwarding this on to your clients. So we explain here, this is the first time I'm explaining this here, but we do have 3 tiers of certification: foundation, luxury, and estate. So I'll click on one of these links. These are hyperlinks. If I come over here, it says certified foundation companies. So what this is, just to pause for a moment, this is an interesting industry because the complexity of these projects could go from very simple to very complex depending on the client's needs. So a foundation level integrator are those companies that excel in smaller projects, typically smaller homes. And by smaller, I'm still talking kind of big, 5,000 square foot homes and under typically. And I say typically because there's no black and white distinction between these 3 tiers, but to give you a rough idea what we're talking about. But these would be firms that specialize in simpler technology needs. These aren't projects that's going to be a 1.5 to 2 year build on a really high-end custom home. And these are typically companies that specialize with budgets of $50,000 and less typically. And again, it says right here, note, these are general guidelines. We do give full exposure to all sorts of company statistics when we look at an individual home technology professional. So I'll show that in a little bit. But just want to give you an overview of these 3 different tiers. If I come back to, go back to another link on the, still the same site, but I want to come back to where we have those defined. Remember I showed you this really important page here? I didn't scroll down, but if I did, you'd see the definition of those 3 tiers. So here they are: foundation, luxury, and estate, all in one spot. So going back up, all certified firms must meet these bullet points. So right here is the quality level of the company. And then once a company is certified by the Home Technology Association, we will rank them into 3 different tiers based on what they excel at. And there's a lot of different things that go into how we classify these companies into one of these 3 tiers. I spent a couple minutes explaining what the foundation tier meant, but there's also luxury and estate. And as you go up these tiers, you're getting into companies that deal with more and more complex systems, larger homes, more advanced technology needs where those companies will have more experience with customizing these systems to the client's very specific needs. Especially if there's special use cases where the client has some special needs they want to address through technology. There's not an off-the-shelf solution. Oftentimes, a solution can be engineered based on what types of brands these companies sell and what kind of expertise they have. So we gave kind of a rough idea of what these different tiers are. So I won't belabor those points here, but just to kind of let you know that these tiers represent levels of complexity. Now, this is really important because you as a design professional and your homeowners probably don't know that there are such differences amongst home technology professionals, but there really are. The firm that I worked for many years, we started as a company definitely in the foundation level, and we did a good job on those small projects. But when we started getting into these larger custom estates that had long build cycles where we're interfacing with the architect and the interior designer and the builder on weekly or bi-weekly site meetings, that's a different type of company. And it took us time to grow into that and to have the design and engineering chops to deal with CAD and BIM modeling and things like that to get into 3D renderings of what a building looks like and how are we going to interface this technology and blend it into the architect and the designer's vision. That takes skill set that a lot of these smaller companies don't quite have yet. So if you're building a bigger, fancier home that has very specific design and high attention paid to architectural design elements, the luxury and estate tiers are where you want to be. So going back to that budget tool, that gave the total price that you get at the end of that budget calculator will inform you or the consumer on what types of firms are going to be the best fit for them. Now, if we were dealing with a smaller home, less higher, simpler technology needs, and the budgets were lower, it would have said the foundation firm is an obvious choice. But you notice that the advice that we saw before said some foundation firms will still do projects in the high 90s, into the $100,000 range, but not all of them do. So it tells you to look at a dealer's profile to look into how much experience they have with that technology. We see that here at the bottom of this screen too. It says at this asterisk, these are general guidelines. We encourage you to carefully review the company data and the dealer listings to get the exact range of projects and services each company specializes in. So let's do that. Let's click on this link, click to find some installers. Well, let's pick a range. I'm in the Los Angeles area. I'm gonna pick a Beverly Hills zip code and do a search. You can see I could filter by budget range if I know that, but let's assume I don't. I'm going to just hit 90210. Here's a range of companies that are HTA certified within this general area of Beverly Hills. So as I click into a company here, I'm going to pick, in this case, M2 Multimedia. It's the first choice I see. And what do I learn? I learned that they're an HTA certified estate firm, which does those high-end projects. There's a little shortcut here. So if a consumer shortcut this and they didn't play with the budget calculator, they just went straight to my zip code and I want to find a company that's HTA certified, and they see this HTA certified estate, they're like, what does that mean? Well, there's a little more button and we explain what it means. This gives you some important information about this particular company. They've been in business 13 years, their mission statement, their vision statement. They get to tell the consumer what their selling proposition is, how many employees they have. This is important stuff to know. What is their customer service policies? Do they have dedicated aftercare service staff? They do. Do they have same-day emergency service? They do. Do they have 24-hour service? No, they don't. Do they have a 24-hour phone service? No, they don't. But it gives an idea. We're exposing a lot of intel on the companies so your clients could find the right fit to meet their particular service needs. Some clients, some companies will, you'll see that they differ as you look at different firms. So these are the things that we check when we're doing our background checks at the Home Technology Association. Learning more about them, they do guarantee their response time. They have a dedicated email for their clients if they need help, and even a dedicated phone number. And here's the important data. And this is really want you to look at this because this is key information we're showing you. So we're giving you a glimpse into what types of projects these companies deal with. This is the whole home systems. This would be a whole home project, means that this company is being hired to typically do a major remodel or a new home project. What are they types of systems do they have experience with? And you can see the amount of jobs they have within certain price tiers: $1,000 to $25,000 projects, $25,000 to $50,000 projects, $50,000 to $100,000, $100,000 to $250,000, $250,000 to $500K, even over $1 million plus. And you can see this little pie chart really shows this. So why is this important? Well, what if the budget calculator reported that the budget range is really high, between $250,000 and $500,000, and you come to look at a company's profile and they see they've only done one project in 3 years. So again, this is a 3-year history. I didn't explain that. This is a 3-year snapshot of the company's history. So if they've only done one project in the $250,000 to $500,000 range, buyer beware. They've done it, but they don't have a lot of experience. But you can see this company's done 10 projects in the past 3 years. So it gives you a good idea of that this company is probably a good fit. We tell elsewhere on the site, which I'll show you in a little bit, we tell the consumer, we tell them, look for companies that regularly work in homes of your size and your value. So your clients know who they are, and you know what types of buildings you're building, what kind of homes you're building for your client. Is this a real high-end home, or is this a tract home? What is it? But we're finding out here that this company here does homes from 1,000 square feet all the way up to 50,000 square feet. So that's the types of projects they work in. Their typical home is 10,000 square foot home. So pretty big home. These guys are on the high end. The typical home values, they've on the low end, 750,000 up to 150 million. Again, this is Beverly Hills, where things are a bit crazy and nutty. So this is not typical, but their typical home is a $15 million value, but that's how things are in Beverly Hills. These are some of the endorsements that they've received. These are the systems they offer in-house versus third party. If a company works out of their house, you'll know that here by looking at this facilities. Do they actually have an office space and a warehouse, and do they have an area where they could build and do offset testing? Yes, they have these facilities. If they don't, you won't see these things. These are the types of, do they have recognition from manufacturers? Yes, they've been awarded recognition from key manufacturers, and their staff has certifications that they've been trained to install this technology. So we have some associations that they are here and that they are licensed. We've checked their license, we've checked their insurance, we've done all the background checks on there. And do they offer warranties? This is all important things to know. And up until now, this is not information that you would see published anywhere. So we published this for your and your consumers' education so they could pick a firm that is legitimate and that could fit them. If I go back to this budget, or excuse me, this dealer finder, you could see that I could even, let's do the refine. Now we're back to LA. I can compare firms and even do a column check, where if I wanted to compare 3 different firms, I could put them in a grid firm. Here, these 2 firms are CEDIA members, this one isn't. These 2 are endorsed by an architect, the one in the middle hasn't. Oh, they have a little bit of different services that they offer. So you can start to compare firms to see who might be the best fit for your client. So this has never been exposed. You never had this level of intelligence until now. So this is what we're showing here. See, we're getting close to time, but wanted to show you this, which is really important. And going back to the site for a minute, going back to the home screen, and I wanted to show a great resource for you and your clients, how to hire a technology pro. So this is great consumer-facing association that until now has really not been made or found on the web. How to hire the right firm for your needs. So simple, quick article to read so that your client doesn't make a poor choice. There's an article on here just for you as design professionals. Come back to the home screen right here for architects, builders, interior designers. This brings out all the different reasons why you would want to bring a HTA certified home technology professional to your projects early in the process, because when you deal with this early in the process, a lot of things that are often missed and compromise the end result are caught early. So there's an article to look at offline, a little later. Well, not here now. We don't have the time for that. But also, again, this is a resource website. So a couple of these articles are linked here on the bottom of the screen because they're really important. But there's more articles here, including those, at the articles link. So on key things that your clients want to know, like why are the camera systems that I see at the big box stores, why are these cheaper than maybe the one that the home technology professionals tell me I should get? There's an article on that. Surveillance cameras, 12 things you need to know. An article, an overview about the smart home. What's the difference between DIY solutions and ones installed by a professional? About home theater. Articles, another budget article, questions to ask your home technology professional about customer service. So keep an eye on this. This is going to be a spot where you're going to see more articles being posted. We're about to post an article about new media art where they're using digital laser projectors and such to display new works of art that have broken free from the canvas and now are using digital display devices. Really interesting crossover between art and home technology. So as a professional, if you want to keep up on what the latest is, you could subscribe to our website here. There's a subscribe link, and we'll email you occasionally as we have relevant information to share. We're not going to spam you. We want to give you, as a design build professional, information that's actionable to stay up on this industry. So I'll just briefly say who crafted this standard. It's, like I said, it's not me. I can't take credit. This is our board of advisors. Some of you will recognize some of these brands: Crestron, Lutron, Savant, Control4. Of course, we all know Sony. These are some of the senior executives in these firms that have helped craft this standard. And it took quite a while. We launched in September of last year, but behind the scenes, it took a year to craft the standard, to determine what things are we going to look at a company to determine if they are delivering great experiences. How do we know what the best firms are? It took a long time to craft it. We're very proud of what has been built. So there's a picture of me down here. I mean, I run the association, but I'm basically executing on the standard that was crafted by these 9 gentlemen with some input of a couple other industry insiders as well. As a review on the site, you come back to FAQ. There is an FAQ section just for you, Design and Build Pros, kind of review some of the things that are about this association. So I went over the website quite well. We've pretty much covered everything. I'll come back to my slide deck here. Just there's a couple links I want to share with you. So we'll come back to this. I've already described what those 3 tiers of certification are with the Home Technology Association. So it explains what that's all about. And the whole idea in this, as this little ad shows you here on the right, is this: we built the standard with a lot of time and care, so you, as a design build professional, and your clients won't have to have those bad technology experiences, to find firms that have a high degree of making sure your clients are happy with their technology. This is working. This is changing the conversation from price to competence. You want to make sure the companies that bid on your clients' homes know what they're doing. HTA certified firms know what they're doing. So much so that the architects, builders, and designers that have learned about it, some of them have made it even a rule that anybody that bids on the project must be HTA certified. So that's great. And why? Because when you're those type of integrators, those HTPs, install the systems, your chances of success go way the heck up. So this is just some resource page here. As you can see, that the HTA website is a page you'll want to bookmark. If you want to follow us, here's 3 links on social media. That we're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We try to put relevant information out there for you to keep up on this trade, or again, like say, sign up for our newsletter on our website. And you can reach me. There's my personal contact information, and there's my LinkedIn profile. And I thank you for your attention and learning what this is all about and how it benefits you and your clients. So now we only have a few minutes left, but if any questions are open, I am here to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, Josh, that was a lot of information in a short period of time. We've got about 5 minutes left, and we do have one question from Carmen. Is HTA just in the United States? And if so, are you planning to go global?
That is a great question. We have just opened certification to Canada. That's our first country beyond the United States. We are going to open this up globally. Our next expansion is going to be in Europe. We're not exactly sure what countries yet. We fortunately, which is positive to see, we've received worldwide interest. We just have to take baby steps as we adapt our website to handle different currencies and different map data. But yes, we will be expanding. Canada's open now. We have our first dealer going through certification right now.
I have one question. If one of our participants here today has a problem with one of the certified professionals, did you cover where they would go to report that issue?
I did not cover that. That is a good question. On the website, there's a contact us link on there, and that contact us link is kind of a free-for-all of whatever you'd want to ask. And if there's any complaints that you have my personal information there that I kind of shared back one slide. I'll keep that up. You can reach out to me, but there's also a contact form. So if there is anyone that is a subpar company, you had a bad experience, we want to hear about it, because this is only about companies that have a great experience. If we hear some negative information, that will start an investigation into that company's, kind of recertify them basically. And this is which brings up another point. Companies have to recertify annually, so it's not once in, always in. We want to make sure that these companies stay at the top of their game. So we check references annually. And along those lines, if you know of a firm, because we have 94 firms throughout the United States right now, so there's still a lot of territory to cover. Again, we've been out less than a year publicly. So if you know of a great integrator, a great HTP in your market that really does a great job and you don't see them listed, urge them to apply for certification. They've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain by showing and proving that they really are amongst the top 10%.
Well, fantastic. Thanks, Josh, for being here today and introducing the Home Technology Association and your certification program. I look forward to a long-lasting relationship between our organizations.